You know the name Doug Poppa?
Yes, I do. God bless Doug Poppa, an honest cop.
I was elated, of course, but then as he testified, I was somewhat concerned for him because I knew that they were probably going to crucify that man.
The top cop who put his badge on the line for justice.
One man who confronted truth and consequences.
Welcome to Truth and Consequences with Doug Poppa, episode 43 for Thursday, April 15th, 2021. Las Vegas Justice Court Judge Melanie Andress-Tobiasson, during my May 2018 on-the-record recorded telephonic interview with her, admitted that she had received confidential information relating to the unsolved October 2016 double homicide of Sidney Land and Nehemiah Kauffman. And that confidential police information, according to Judge Tobiasson, came from a Las Vegas Metro homicide detective who Tobiasson later identified in an email to me as Las Vegas Metro homicide detective Jared Grimmett. As I have previously reported, since my May 2018 interview with Judge Tobiasson has reaffirmed in court documents and in a written response to the formal statement of charges that were filed against her by the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline that she was indeed given confidential information relating to the unsolved Land Kauffman murders from Detective Jared Grimmett and other Las Vegas Metro police detectives. There is no doubt in my mind that Judge Tobiasson was privy to this information because of her position as a sitting judge in the Las Vegas Justice Court. No private citizen, even upon request to the police, would have been given this information, the result of which, as I have stated numerous times in the past 2 years, compromised the integrity of the Las Vegas Metro Police investigation into the still unsolved 2016 Land Kauffman murders. For the purpose of this episode, I am focusing on Judge Tobiasson's claim that Frankie Zappia, the stepdaughter of a now retired Las Vegas Metro police officer, was involved in the Land Kauffman murders. Listen to this audio clip of excerpts from my interview with Judge Tobiasson from May 2018, when Judge Tobiasson mentions Frankie Zappia. The entire unedited audio interview with Judge Tobiasson that I conducted on May 7, 2018, is available free of charge in episode 39 of Truth and Consequences with Doug Poppa. I want to address those persons who have erroneously and foolishly claimed that it was not Judge Tobiasson who was speaking to me during that interview. As ridiculous as that sounds, there are those who still believe that. Ignorance has no bounds with some people. Judge Tobiasson admitted under oath during her December 2019 hearing before the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline that she indeed did give the interview. Further, Judge Tobiasson's own attorneys acknowledged in the lawsuit that Tobiasson filed in U.S. District Court against the Judicial Commission that she did give the interview, and according to a prior published story from another news outlet, Tobiasson admitted to the judicial investigator during her recorded interview with him that she gave the interview to me. Judge Tobiasson's own telephone records will also corroborate her nearly 2-hour phone call with me on May 7, 2018, should that be even necessary in the future. I will have more on Judge Tobiasson's false and absurd allegation that the interview was never to be made public in an upcoming episode. Now, the audio excerpts from my May 2018 interview with Judge Tobiasson, which are relevant to what I will be discussing today.
So that night, at about 12:30, so it would have been 12:30, October 26th, 12:30 a.m., Shane Valentine, the guy by the name of Dominique Thompson, he went by Domo, D-O-M-O, and a girl by the name of Frankie, F-R-A-N-K-I-E, Zappia, Z-A-P-P-I-A. Shane, Domo, and Frankie, whose stepdad is a police officer by the name of Dano, D-A-N-O, Giersdorf, G-I-E-R-S-D-O-R-S. Go to Neo's house and execute Neo and his girlfriend, Sidney Land. Oh, these murders happened. The first detective who is investigating the case, thank God, is someone who knows me and respects me and I have a good relationship with. He tells me for the first 3 or 4 weeks after the murders, while Shane Valentine is on the run, what information they have and what proof they have that Shane's involved. But I'm told that they have Domo's DNA, that Frankie's phone pings at the apartment, that they caught Frankie in all kinds of lies. And one of the most significant things is that after the two are dead, nobody ever texted them again. Dano?
Right.
Dano.
Right.
Here's what. Is the stepfather of Frankie Zappia one of the suspects in the double homicide? I told you about the detective who was originally on the case and told me all the evidence they had that showed it was Shane, Domo, and Frankie.
That was Judge Melanie Andress-Tobiasson's own words. Judge Tobiasson admitted that she was told by the police that Frankie Zappia was one of the suspects in the Land Kauffman murders. I'm sure you noticed that Judge Tobiasson said the Land Kauffman murders occurred at 12:30 a.m. on October 26, 2016. The only way Tobiasson could have known the exact time of the murders is 1. The police told her, or 2. Someone else who had knowledge of the murders told her that, if indeed she told the truth to me during the interview. Keep in mind that the bodies of Sidney Land and Nehemiah Kauffman, who were both shot in the head, were not found until the afternoon of October 27, 2016. On August 31, 2020, the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline filed their formal statement of charges against Judge Tobiasson. In this episode, I'm only focusing on factual allegation paragraph 11 in the formal statement of charges that states that Judge Tobiasson also created a false telephone account to send inappropriate text messages to a woman Tobiasson believed was involved in the Land murder. Refer to the screenshots in this podcast. Remember that Judge Tobiasson is still a judge even when she's not on the bench, just as a police officer is still a police officer when he is off duty. Improper conduct off duty not only reflects on their sworn positions, but on their professions as well. In Judge Tobiasson's case, the Nevada Revised Code of Judicial Conduct states that judges should maintain the dignity of judicial office at all times and avoid both the impropriety and the appearance of impropriety in their professional and personal lives. They should aspire at all times to conduct that ensures the greatest possible confidence in their independence, integrity, and competence. Now, back to paragraph 11 of the formal statement of charges against Judge Tobiasson. What the Judicial Commission is referring to here is the following. We have to go back to 2017, after Judge Tobiasson befriended Connie Land, whose daughter Sidney Land was one of the victims in the unsolved Land Kauffman double homicide. The text messages that I will be referring to between Judge Tobiasson and Connie Land have been authenticated by Connie Land. There is no misrepresentation of the facts here. They are Judge Melanie Andress-Tobiasson's text message communications to Connie Land on October 6, 2017. Just as Judge Tobiasson's own voice you heard earlier when she was talking about Frankie Zappia is not a misrepresentation of the facts. The facts are as they stand. That was Judge Tobiasson's voice, and the text messages referred to here are indeed Judge Tobiasson's text messages. On October 6, 2017, Judge Tobiasson, who by her own admission claimed that Frankie Zappia was a suspect in the Land Kauffman murders, discovered that Frankie Zappia had posted on her Instagram account a photograph of Sidney Land with the post, quote, "I can't believe it'll be a year in a couple of weeks." Frankie Zappia was obviously referring to the October 2016 murder of her friend Sidney Land. Judge Tobiasson then texted Connie Land, Sidney Land's mother, as follows, quote, "I want to kill that little fucking cunt for putting your daughter up there." Tobiasson was referring to Frankie Zappia posting the picture of her and Sidney Land on Instagram. Keeping in mind that Frankie Zappia was a suspect in an unsolved double homicide, Judge Tobiasson opened a fictitious Instagram account under the moniker JFSAN102516 to taunt Frankie Zappia. Judge Tobiasson then posted the following message on Frankie Zappia's Instagram account under the fictitious moniker JFSAN102516, quote, "1 year since you helped kill her." Refer to the screenshot in this podcast of Frankie Zappia's Instagram account that shows Judge Tobiasson's message, albeit fictitiously, that was posted on Frankie Zappia's Instagram by Judge Tobiasson. Judge Tobiasson then sent the following text message to Connie Land on October 6, 2017 at 9:34 p.m. Quote, "Look at what I sent. Can't figure out how to delete the account now." At 9:37 p.m., Judge Tobiasson texted Connie Land, quote, "Did you see the comment? Look at JFSAN 102516. At 9:38 p.m., Judge Tobiasson texted Connie Land, quote, "I'll wait until it gets a reaction before I delete the account." And at 9:40 p.m., Judge Tobiasson texted Connie Land, quote, "The cops will probably try to figure it out for her." I mistakenly left out that after Judge Tobiasson opened her fictitious Instagram account under JFSAN 102516 and then posted on Frankie Zappia's Instagram, quote, "1 year since you helped kill her," on October 6, 2017 at 9:29 p.m., Tobiasson sent the screenshot of Zappia's Instagram to Connie Land that depicted the message Tobiasson had published on Zappia's account. You can refer to the slideshow on the screen that has the series of text messages sent by Judge Tobiasson in consecutive order. Judge Tobiasson's motivation as to why she felt it necessary to engage in this type of improper and unprofessional conduct is immaterial to me. Judge Tobiasson did it, and it was wrong. Tobiasson then bragged about it to Connie Land, which is memorialized in Tobiasson's text message communications. Melanie Andress-Tobiasson knew better, or in the very least, we should assume she should have known better. A reasonable person in Judge Tobiasson's position would not have done this. That is my contention. Melanie Andress-Tobiasson is the one who has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Melanie Andress-Tobiasson is the one who has the law degree from Pepperdine University. Melanie Andress-Tobiasson is the one who is a former Clark County, Nevada Deputy District Attorney. And Melanie Andress-Tobiasson is a sitting Las Vegas Justice Court judge. In my opinion, by Judge Tobiasson's actions in this matter, separate and apart from everything else Tobiasson has done, she became personally involved in an active double murder investigation, and in doing so, undermined her credibility and integrity. I have said this before many times. I am not only an independent investigative journalist. My background as a former law enforcement officer and criminal investigator gives me a unique insight as to how certain events may impact a police investigation. In the instant case here, when Judge Tobiasson sent that message to Frankie Zappia, who she well knew was a suspect in the murders by her own admission, Tobiasson inserted herself, anonymously of course, into the police investigation. It is common practice for police investigators to monitor the social media accounts of suspects in open murder investigations, and if they don't, they are not doing their job. In this case, when Judge Tobiasson posted the message, "1 year since you helped kill her," referring to the murder of Sidney Land, that anonymous message may very well have been seen by the police, and then the next question the police should have asked is, who the hell is this person who just told our suspect you helped kill her? Whether the police saw that message or not makes no difference to me. What matters is Judge Tobiasson should have known that her comment could have raised a red flag with the police. As a former criminal investigator, what makes Judge Tobiasson's actions even more despicable to me is when she texted Connie Land, quote, "The cops will probably try to figure it out for her." I find that no less despicable than when Judge Tobiasson admitted to me during the May 2018 interview that she left her then underage daughter, Sarah, in the care and protection of men she knew to be pimps. All that from a sitting Las Vegas Justice Court judge. Very professional indeed. 4.5 years later, nobody has been charged, indicted, and/or arrested for the murders of Sidney Land and Nehemiah Kauffman. The double homicide remains unsolved to this day. I will have a short video excerpt courtesy of the Nevada watchdog group, Our Nevada Judges, at the end of this episode, which is Judge Tobiasson's sworn testimony before the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline on December 16, 2019. That is relevant to what I discussed in this podcast. That included Tobiasson's admission that she gave me the interview in 2018. I will have a link to Tobiasson's entire testimony at that hearing in the comments section of this video. The December 2019 hearing had nothing to do with the current formal statement of charges filed against Judge Tobiasson by the Judicial Commission. That concludes this episode. Thanks for listening.
Please face me, raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear in the testimony provided in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Go ahead and have a seat there. Just go close to the microphone there, state your name, spell your first and last name for the record.
Melanie Andress-Tobiasson, M-E-L-A-N-I-E, Andress, A-N-D-R-E-S-S-T-O-B-I-A-S-S-O-N.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Pratt.
Judge, are you familiar with the Nevada Judicial Code?
Yes.
And can you tell us the difference between the judicial canons and the judicial rules?
I'm not sure I can define those distincted separately. I mean, the canons clearly are directives or rules that we must follow in terms of our ethical obligations and guidelines. Rules are simply rules that we must follow in the course of conducting our business as judges.
How many canons are there?
Unfortunately, I don't know the exact number.
And I'm going to object out of relevancy. What has this got to do with this issue? I mean, how many commandments are there? How many commandments are in the Constitution?
The judges are denying that they did not violate the code. I want to explore whether or not they know what the code is.
Well, I don't have it memorized.
I'm going to prevent the question. Go ahead, why don't you start it, Mr. Pratt.
So do you know what canon 1 provides?
Well, I mean, is there a directive that I can look at the canons? I mean, I do not have the canons memorized.
Okay, I understand that. You don't have any idea what canon 1 says, correct?
Not from memory now.
Well, let me help you.
Okay.
Canon 1 provides in part that a judge must observe high standards of conduct, so the integrity of the judiciary must be preserved. Okay? So tell the commission how you would define integrity.
Well, integrity is a lot of things. It can include truthfulness, conducting yourself in a way that is in a manner that is honest and honorable and truthful.
And how would you define impropriety?
Well, there's a multitude of ways you can define impropriety.
How does the code define impropriety?
I'm not sure what the exact definition of the code is. I mean, if you want to give me a copy of the code, I'd be happy to refer to it.
Would you agree that impropriety includes conduct that undermines a judge's integrity?
I guess on a general basis it could.
In the interview, you said that I have never threatened somebody with my husband or the people I know, correct?
Correct.
And you said that's offensive.
Correct. To be accused of that?
And you told the investigator the allegations that you threatened people is completely out of the realm of comprehension. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Because I would never engage in that kind of behavior. That's what you told him, correct?
Correct.
But that's not true, is it? In fact, you have bragged about threatening people, haven't you?
No.
Did you give an interview to the Baltimore Post-Examiner in 2018? She denies she ever threatened someone. She admits that she threatened someone in a newspaper article, and there's an audio recording of it.
I'm not permitting the question. Go ahead.
Did you give an interview to the Baltimore Post-Examiner in 2018?
Very unfortunately, yes.